guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I'm your host Bastion and this is Nintendo News. Let's get to that news. I don't cover a whole lot of Zelda fan films because frankly, I don't watch them. I'm not so interested in fan-made films because they're never quite as high of a budget as I would typically like watching because they're fan films, you know, and you can't fault them for that, except I do because I just don't want to watch them. But anyways, the point is there's a new fan film out that doesn't really have a plot or anything, but it's just this girl cosplaying as Link, wandering around. It's called Wandering Hero, and it looks really good. It just doesn't really have a plot, but you know, you see this Link doing the typical Linkish things like solving puzzles, defeating enemies, stuff like that. It looks cool, very visually nice, so if you want to check it out, there's a link down in the description. Our next story is about Honest Game Trailers and their newest video, which is about Twilight Princess, of course. And basically, you gotta take everything they say with a grain of salt, but I have to say, I do agree with a heck of a lot of what they said. There are some things I didn't really agree with, but you know, Twilight Princess, it's a Zelda game, so that means it's great, but it might be my second least favorite Zelda game of all time. So I would have never played the original again. I have played it twice, the original Twilight Princess, but now of course I will have to play Twilight Princess HD, and maybe I'll only play that once. We'll see. But the point is, they're very funny if you don't get too mad at people poking fun at your favorite games. You should watch it. There's a link down in the description. Our next story is about Twilight Princess, and it's about Mr. Aonuma talking about how the HD version came to exist, and this is something that you could have surmised without being a psychic or anything. It's back when they were first telling us about the Wind Waker HD. They mentioned how they were taking various pre-existing Zelda styles of games that have already existed and trying to see what they would look like in HD, and when they saw what Wind Waker looked like in HD, they were like, okay, that needs to be made, we're gonna do that now. So they did, but obviously at the same time they fully intended to do Twilight Princess HD, so now that's why that exists. And this leads you to an interesting conclusion that, does that mean Skyward Sword HD is coming out next year? Will that be something that we'll be seeing on the NX, for instance, in that in-between time between Zelda Wii U / NX, if that's gonna come to pass, and then whatever actual Zelda NX is? Maybe we'll have Skyward Sword HD on the NX in between those two games? I wouldn't say no to that. I really like Skyward Sword and I'd love to see it in HD. Our next story is about the fact that there was a patent case filed by somebody. They were basically suing Nintendo, claiming that they violated their patent for Nintendo's Wiimote. Nintendo doesn't like to use that term. Wii controller, or Wii remote. In any case, basically the infrared thing that it utilizes, this company claims they had a patent on that, and so it's been this long drawn-out legal battle, but now it's all over. Nintendo has won, so they never have to deal with that crap again. These are beautiful. These are some stained glass window thingamajigs done of Pokemon. It's beautiful. If I had the money, these would be in all of my windows, but I'm not going to buy even one of these because they're quite pricey, but they look really cool. If you want to check those out, there's a link for you down in the description. Our next story, also about Pokemon, is a very amusing video of a guy who doesn't know the first thing about Pokemon, trying to guess the names of each of the 150 Pokemon, the original ones, knowing absolutely nothing about them, and it is hilarious. You should definitely check it out. There's a link for you. And speaking of Pokemon, there was supposed to be a Pokemon Go conference at the Game Developers Conference, GDC, but that's been canceled because they said, well, we'd just rather focus on finishing the game rather than presenting it. So that's interesting. That could either mean that they are really far away from being done with it, or that they're worried that somebody will steal their ideas or something, or I don't know. Anyways, they've canceled it, so you won't be seeing anything about Pokemon Go at GDC. But that's it for this episode of Nintendo News. See you guys tomorrow for more news. Bye, guys.